Could you be losing thousands of dollars in Medicare revenue every single year just by forgetting one simple element of history when you're admitting patients? You could, it's true. Okay, so let me briefly demonstrate this point to you. If you're admitting a patient to the hospital and you're doing your H&P, most likely you're admitting a patient of either moderate medical decision making or high medical decision making. And I'm showing you those two codes right now on the screen. So let's start with the high. All right, the CPT code for a patient you're admitting with your H&P at a high level of medical decision-making complexity, that's a 99223. At that level, you must also document a comprehensive history and a comprehensive exam. That comprehensive history requires family history. You have to have family history. So if you're missing that, you're not meeting all the requirements for this code. All right, so let's take a look at what moderate is. So for level 2, 99222, medical decision making of moderate complexity, you also have to get a comprehensive history and a comprehensive exam. Once again, that family history is required. So as you guys know, there's only 3 levels for your H&Ps. You got a level 1, which is low, you have a level 2, which is moderate, and a level 3, which is high. The 2 and the 3 both require a comprehensive history and a comprehensive exam, which means you must have that family history for your 2s and your 3s. And if you don't, what you're actually supposed to be billing is 99221, because a detailed history does not require all 3 past family and social history. So if you miss just that one element, you will have to be downcoded to a 99221. Either your coder is going to downcode you, or you might bill it out to Medicare, and then Medicare might kind of get wise to you and want to do some audits and realize that, hey, we've been overpaying this physician, because even though they're seeing patients that are sick enough for 99222 and 99223, even though their patients are that sick, they're not meeting the comprehensive history requirement because they are consistently missing that family history. So it can be costing you thousands of dollars, and or also putting you at risk. If you're audited by Medicare, they're going to want you to repay them if you have not got that family history in there. They're going to want the difference between what they paid you for a 3 and what they should have paid you for a 1. So let's talk money, because I don't know about you, but money talks to me and I pay attention when it's talking. So what we're going to do is we're going to go out to the Medicare website, and I'm going to show you on the Medicare fee schedule. This is a little caveat. This is the national, kind of the national average. This is not what you might get paid in your locale. So if, say you're in somewhere like Los Angeles, you might get paid a little bit more for this. And if you are out in somewhere like Georgia, you might get paid a little bit less. It really depends on the locale, but this is sort of the national average. So let's put in this. What I've done is I've gone out to the fee schedule, and I'm going to put the link to how to get to this below in the description. But what we're going to do is we're going to go out and we're going to just put in our CPT codes. So say you saw a high level medical decision making patient and admitted them, and you did a great H&P, you did everything, but you didn't get that family history. All right, what you think you should have billed was a 99223, because the patient was sick and, high decision making, and so the 99223 should be right, but you're missing that one little element. So let's look at what you would have gotten paid for that had that been legitimately coded correctly and documented correctly. If we zoom in here, $206.07. Remember that number, because we're about to compare it. If you missed your history, if you missed that one little family history element, you should be downcoded to a 99221 because your documentation doesn't support. And let's look at the difference in payment. Look at there, $103.94. Guys, that's a difference of $102.13. Every time you make this mistake, you're either being overpaid by $103 and $102.13. You're either being overpaid or somebody has downcoded you. Maybe your coder's downcoded you or whatever, and you're not going to get that. Either way, it's a difference of $102.13. Now, if you make this mistake only once a month, you're looking at a loss of $1,225.56 over a year. If you make this more frequently, say you do it as much as once a week, 52 times a year, that's $5,310.76. $5,310 a year that you would be missing out on. Now, we can look at this even further and say, well, what about the moderates? I'll just go ahead and tell you, a 99222, the Medicare allowable for that, the national fee for that is $140.39. So if you get downcoded to a 99221 for not having a family history, that's $103.94 that they would pay you for that. That's a loss of $36.45 every time that happens. Not as painful, definitely not as painful, but it's still a loss. And if you only did that, say 52 times a year or once a week, you're looking at a loss of almost $1,900 a year. So this stuff adds up, folks. I'm going to do another video really briefly illustrating how the same thing happens in the clinic setting with your new patient visits. But this is just to give you, give you a feel for how much money you might be losing every year, even if you only make this mistake a few times, like once a week. We're talking about thousands of dollars, and you're probably making this mistake way more than that. So the good news, there's always good news. And the good news is that this is a super easy problem to fix. All you have to do to fix this problem is remember when you're admitting a patient to the hospital or to OBS. We didn't even talk about observation and how much money you might be losing with your OBS patients. But if you're admitting a patient to the hospital, when you do your H&P, get a family history and document it. Don't forget to document it. And I know that sounds like, one more thing I got to do. And I do understand that sometimes you have patients that are 85 years old and you're like, why do I need a family history? It doesn't matter. Just get it anyway. And very simple. It can be something as simple as, say you have a patient that comes in for chest pain, and all you have to do is quickly review the cardiovascular history of the family with the patient and document, something like, father had CAD, otherwise negative for CV diseases and for family history. You can get away with something so simple. What about if your patient has dementia or if they're not conscious? That's easy too. All you have to do is say unable to obtain family history due to patient dementia or due to patient in coma. And you can do that with all of your history. I recommend that you call out each section. I would say unable to obtain review of systems, history of present illness, and past family or social history due to patient in coma. That's what I would do. That way there's no doubt that you couldn't get it. Anyway, we can do a whole nother video on how to properly code or how to properly document your history whenever you have a patient who cannot give you a history. But it's super simple. All you have to do is do a very brief statement. The only statement that I would caution you about is don't say family history non-contributory, because Medicare has already ruled on this. They don't accept that. So if you put that in your note, you went to the trouble of doing that, they're just not going to count that. So that'd be wasting your time. You could say why family history is not contributory. If you expand a little bit, then it'd be more acceptable. But just to say that it's not pertinent or not contributory is not acceptable. They've already ruled on that, and they are not accepting that. As you can see, it only takes one small change to make a big impact. I hope this video has been helpful for you. If it has, give it a thumbs up, please. And if you would like, please please subscribe to the channel. Love to have you in the Angie the Coder tribe. Leave your comments, questions, and suggestions for videos in the comments field below. And as always, if I mention a website in my video, I'll leave a link to that website in the description below. So I don't know if I've told you guys or not, but I started a blog, and if you're interested in reading it, it's going to be on my website, angiethecoder.com. As you can see, I've done a blog about what we talked about today. So if you're more of a reader than a listener or a watcher, check out my blog. You might really like it. Anyway, it's been great, guys. I'll see you next time, and have a wonderful week.